Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, May the 18th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. And there's a look at radar this morning, a bit unsettled across central Alabama, but it looks like weather should be improving throughout the day and into the first of next week. The Birmingham Skycam shows some water droplets on the lens there, and also at Tuscaloosa, where we've got some rather low visibility due to low clouds and fog associated with some of the rain that's going on. The unsettled weather pattern is occurring across the southeastern U.S., not so much from a surface pattern, although we kind of have a bit of a convergence zone across central Alabama this morning, but primarily because of the upper atmosphere. We've got a trough, little short wave that is moving through the southeastern U.S., and that is being responsible for a lot of this unsettled weather. And while we don't expect much in the way of severe weather, because the echoes are training, it looks like we could see a continuation of a flash flood threat throughout the day, especially across the eastern sections of central Alabama. Temperatures across the country have become much warmer since last weekend. You'll notice this morning in these temperatures around 6 a.m., you'll notice that temperatures generally, almost every place across the country, maybe the northern Rockies there may be some 32-degree readings, but for the most part, everybody above freezing. And even at 6 a.m., temperatures along the Gulf Coast in the 70s. We're dealing with primarily 60s across central Alabama, although Birmingham and Tuscaloosa are at 72, so it is a rather warm morning. The regional radar composite across the southeastern U.S., and you can see that convergence zone running from a little bit south of Tupelo over towards Auburn. The QPF for this morning showing for the next 5 days that much of the rain is going to be off to the northwest to the western Great Lakes area, where a major storm system is taking shape, as well as across Arkansas and down into northeast Texas, and then over across the Carolinas down into Georgia. So we're kind of in a little bit of a minimum in there, and it looks like most of our rain is going to come today and early tomorrow, as well as maybe into Wednesday, Thursday timeframe. Storm Prediction Center's outlooking a moderate risk from sections of southwestern Nebraska, across western Kansas, and into western Oklahoma. The slight risks surrounding that going all the way from southeastern North Dakota all the way down into Texas. For day 2, the area shifts a little bit to the east. We have a moderate risk over the eastern portions of Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma, stretching down close to the Red River Valley, and that area is surrounded by slight risk that extends all the way from the area of Iowa and southern Minnesota and southwestern Wisconsin down into the area of North Texas near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Day 3, we're still dealing with a slight risk that extends all the way from Lake Michigan all the way down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, including places like St. Louis and Tulsa and edging towards Little Rock and Des Moines, places like that. All right, the 060 GFS model run in the unsettled pattern primarily due to the little upper trough, and that's expected to move gradually to the east. So it looks like we may see diminishing of the showers, especially over western Alabama and into eastern Mississippi with the day. And so much of the activity staying generally off to the east of Birmingham, but still a little bit unsettled, so we can't rule out some possibility of some showers. We begin to get under a little bit of a ridge on Sunday, but still indicating that troughiness just to our east. So it looks like we might see some showers in the morning, but probably the greatest threat is going to be across the northeast sections and over into Georgia. By Monday, we come under the ridge in a pretty good, strong fashion. So that is nice, because that should pave the way for both warm weather, but also get rid of the showers at least for a couple of days. Tuesday, we're under that ridge also, so it looks like we probably should be fine and be rain-free. Wednesday, we begin to see a change, though, as that big trough off to our west begins to come closer. And so that kind of increases the moisture and brings us back into a showery pattern. But of course, the main focus is going to be on the severe weather with that system off to our west. So we introduced the chance of showers back on Wednesday. Thursday, the upper trough has gone negatively tilted as it's coming across the Mississippi River, but you can see that it's making its influence felt down into Mississippi, so it looks like we should see an increase in shower coverage across the southeastern United States ahead of that system. But right now it doesn't look like we have a really strong potential for severe weather, but it is certainly something we'll want to watch. Again, we're getting out 5 days out into the future, and SPC doesn't have anything out that far as the predictability is too low. Friday, that upper pattern kind of rotates up into the Great Lakes and through the Great Lakes area, and so the result is the front has moved or is moving on by. So it looks like right now that by Friday we could see some improving weather once again as we get out of the shower regime, and as we get into Saturday, we actually see a little bit of a northwesterly flow to the pattern. Of course, that does mean we're going to have to be watching for things like these MCSs that form well to our northwest and move, hundreds of miles overnight. The troughiness, though, probably is going to be responsible for dragging a weak cold front down into the Ohio River Valley, and that might edge into the Tennessee River Valley. But at least for now, it looks like next Saturday, a week from today, is going to be a pretty good day. And now as we go out into voodoo country, once again on Sunday, the 26th, so it's just barely edging into voodoo country, but we have a pretty sharp ridge bringing some warm weather into the plain states, but also that gets us into a bit of a northwesterly flow, so at least a little bit of a cool down is a possibility. When we get out to the end of the period, this is the 30th of May, we're under, in the eastern half of the country, basically under a big ridge. However, notice what's happening in the tropics. Now, if we take a look at the GFS's surface projection, look at that. Holy mackerel. We are edging towards hurricane season, but the GFS is projecting a significant low, dare I say, a tropical system over the Yucatan Peninsula. And if we just edge out a little further on the surface map to 372 hours, this is 2 weeks, this is June 2nd, it shows that low up opposite Tampa, or off in the Gulf opposite Tampa. Now, I'm not suggesting that we're going to have a tropical storm. I just think it's interesting what the GFS is projecting. And after all, we are edging into the beginning of the Atlantic tropical season. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for today. I expect to have the next one posted first thing on Sunday morning. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for the latest information as we watch the flash flood potential, especially for today. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.